Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Ethan Beute. Ethan is the Chief Evangelist at BombBomb. Imagine learning from someone on this episode where someone joined the company when they were only 200 customers. Now they are over 50,000, maybe even a much higher number than that one. Imagine learning what not to do, what to do, all that from a very small boat to a big ship, probably multiple ships. I'm sure they have taken so many U-turns, many times they got stuck, and so many times they didn't even know where to go from here, where they are going. And all that wealth of experience, please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Ethan Beute. Ethan, welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I enjoy your conversations with other people.
Yeah, wonderful. Ethan, let me start with this. I gave a hint about your little story already. However, I want you people to hear it from you. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to join the BombBomb, and then how was the ride?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I joined the company full-time over 9 years ago, and I was leaving a career. I had done marketing inside local television stations in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in Chicago, and out here in Colorado Springs, where I am now. And I was ready to make a career transition, and so I was doing project work with a variety of people, and I had met the two gentlemen who had founded BombBomb and started working with them doing, email campaigns, landing pages, making some videos, things like that. And I just really liked who they were, what they were about, the space that they were pioneering, which has really matured quite a bit over the years. And at some point, I just committed to join them full time. And it's been a really interesting and challenging and fascinating experience to grow from, less than 10 employees to well over 150. And as you already said, a couple hundred customers to nearly 60,000. And so it's been an absolute pleasure and a gift. And just when you think, maybe my time is up here, maybe I should be doing something different, everything just kind of shifts and changes. There's so much change going on. And so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's always been something that I look for in work, which is this combination of interesting, challenging, and fun. And I think if you can find that combination, you just stick with it because it's checking a lot of very important boxes.
Yeah, checking a lot of boxes. In last 12 months, we are going through many, many challenges in general all over the world, almost in every country, does not matter where you are right now. So based on the wealth of experience, I'm sure that you had many, many challenges yourself in that too. And let's try to see how much we can capture it from this in this short time we have together. So Ethan, what are your top three missteps to avoid? What you learned in this from few hundred customers to tens of thousands of customers?
Sure. I think I think what I'll do is speak to my expertise in this, and then with the positive things to look for and do, I maybe speak more generalized to the experience. So what we do is we make it easy to record and send video messages in place of some of your typed out text. And so a few things that I would say to avoid in using video in general and using video messages in particular is straying from your authentic self. I think a lot of people struggle to kind of find their voice, whether it's writing a blog or writing emails or appearing in videos or doing podcasting or doing some combination of them as you're doing right now. I think a lot of people struggle to find their voice, but I think being confident in who you are and what you have to share, I think is the upside of that. So what I see too many people doing is maybe putting on a different sense of self. And I think that becomes confusing for people. I don't think you're at your best. And I don't think you're learning and growing as much as you can when you're inauthentic to yourself. Another thing I would say in general, this is very practical, in terms of appearing on video. You're very nicely lit. I feel like I am too, even though I have a lot of backlight behind me, is turn on every light. Anytime I see grainy video or laggy video or something like that, it's typically due to not having enough light. And then the last thing I would say is to stop trying to use a script. I see so many people, putting words on their screen and they wind up reading the words off of the screen, or they write it all down and they're focused on the wrong thing. They're focused on saying, and I'm air quoting here, saying the right words in the right order, when in fact communicating with video is so much about our face and our voice and our tone and our enthusiasm and our sincerity and our gratitude and all those subtleties that we communicate so well with our faces and our voices and our bodies that are missing from typed out text. And so I think when we look to appear on video, we should avoid the scripts and focus on the spirit of the message rather than on the exact right words, because there aren't right words. There's only kind of a right tone. There's a level of sincerity. There's a level of honesty and a level of emotional expression that I think brings the message to life, even if you don't say the words that you intended to say.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So, Ethan, many people say, "Oh, Siddique, you are made for video. I'm not a video kind of, material thing." What would you say to them?
I think everybody is suitable for video. I think this natural discomfort initially occurs to almost everyone. Very, very, very few people are comfortable on video the first time that they do it, especially in a recorded video that you can watch over and over and over again. What I would say is, this is about, unless you're trying to host a show or do this kind of like broader publishing, in that case, you do really want to develop some kind of a polish. But otherwise, I think for video messages to be used internally through Slack, or to put in LinkedIn messages, or to send by email, or to text somebody, in these 1-to-1 or 1-to-3 or 4 or 5 team members, like in these more intimate spaces, the use of video is about clarity and emotion and explaining things, or showing and telling with a screen recording. And anyone can do it, right? Just like you would sit in a meeting next to somebody and explain something, or answer a question, or present some information. We all have to do this type of thing all of the time. And this is just a different way to do it. It's a way to create these in-person experiences when we can't physically be together, which is what you and I are doing right now through the streaming platform. But in addition, you can do this out of time, right? So we're out of place. You and I are in different places, but we can spend this time together. When you record and send these types of messages, it allows you to create this in-person moment with you that's beyond time and beyond space, because you can record it when it's convenient for you, and other people can experience you in person when it's convenient for them. So if you have a big personality, you can be big in your videos. If you're kind of quiet and subdued and maybe analytical, that's going to be what you are in video, and it's perfectly fine. We don't need to look to big personalities and to extreme extroverts for the example of how we should be in videos. We should only seek to be ourselves.
Yeah, seek to be ourselves. This is great. So after looking at tens of thousands of customers, I'm sure you see there's like a pattern of template, success template of doing the right video, especially in the personalization world right now. So I don't want you to give all the secrets, only give us the top 3.
Sure. I'll give you a few ideas specific, again, to kind of our growth journey. First and foremost, it has been so valuable for our entire team and our company and our community and our customers to be very, very clear about our purpose and our core values from the very beginning. Whether you want to write it as a vision statement, or a mission statement, or a statement of purpose, being clear about why you're all showing up every day, besides to generate revenue, is fundamental to long-term success. It gives you that peace that you need to persevere through the hard times. It gives you a North Star that you can always look to remind yourself where you're going. It can be partly a decision-making filter, and it's fundamentally attractive to like-minded employees and to like-minded customers. So, I personally think that community is the best form of marketing. This idea of generating ideas and creating relationships around like shared beliefs, shared values, shared purpose, shared curiosity and exploration. And I think if you can be clear on your purpose and ideally your core values as well, that's going to serve you very, very well. We've had the same mission and the same core values for a decade, and it's been incredibly valuable. This one I think is kind of just basic rules for living, but I would say it's some form of the golden rule. The golden rule, essentially, do unto others as you would have done unto you, is present in basically every single major world religion and philosophy or philosophical system. I think it's a great guideline for operating your business as well. I think it's a call to think about others, to think about the consequences of your actions, to, in general, do the right thing. I think it generally promotes kindness and compassion when adopted in the right spirit. And I think, for us, this idea of doing the right thing it's never been a core value as stated. Those, by the way, are relationships, fun, humility, flexibility, and service. But it's been one of those phrases that we've always used. And so I think if we can basically do some form or your own natural form of golden rule living and working, that will serve you well over the long term, because our reputation means more than ever. I think the customer is in control. The customer has been in control for several years through online reviews, testimonials, the fact that they can leave subscription services whenever they want, that if they have a bad experience, they don't just tell their family member or their friend. They can tell strangers on the internet, and should it happen to catch on, they can tell a lot of people. So when you adhere to some kind of a philosophy like that, it puts you in the best position to have a reputation that is valuable. In addition, it's a more satisfying way to work. The last thing I'll say is focus on doing the next right step. I think so often, especially in a growth-minded company or in a growth phase, I think we're looking to move very, very, very quickly. And speed, of course, is valuable, but I think we need to break down the large things and make them simple, and that's focusing on the next right step. And I also think that too often we're trying to scale systems and processes that we don't yet fully understand, and that understanding comes by taking it one step at a time. There's no shortcut to true understanding, and scale requires that understanding, or else you're scaling failure. And so I would caution people to, anytime something looks too big, break it down and focus on the next right step. And anytime you're looking to start running, make sure that your shoes are, I'm mixing in metaphors here, but make sure your shoes are tied, make sure you know where you're going, et cetera. And I offer that to say, be clear on what your next few steps are, and that you know that you're going in the right path, and that you have understanding around that before you get going too quickly, or else you'll either, again, scale something that is not as solid as it should be, you're building on a weak foundation, or perhaps you're even running in the wrong direction. So those are a few things that I've learned along this journey.
Oh, wonderful. That is amazing. In fact, that the number of questions are coming online looks like they love you. And I'm going to take one question. They say, how can introvert can be a good speaker?
Great question. I will say I am an introvert. I draw my energy, or I restore my battery, or I become fulfilled, or I'm most satisfied and energized in very small company, including my own company, in solitude. I enjoy that very much as well. So I'm a much more intimate and introverted person than large groups and extroverted. And the things that I found helpful, when I joined BombBomb, I had no experience really presenting information. I had no experience podcasting or being on videos or being on stages or delivering webinars. I learned to do all of that. So I would say first and foremost, really for anyone, but especially an introvert, practice is the key to success. Practice is where you get confidence, and the confidence makes you successful. I would also say something that's really been valuable for me is being confident about the information that I'm sharing, whether it's in an intimate setting where I'm providing an update or presenting specific information, or just giving just kind of a news piece to somebody, like updating them on a situation or a process or a project, or whether it's a formal presentation in any of a variety of formats, whether it's like a webinar format or a stage presentation or something like that, or a training video that you might put on a YouTube channel or in a support site or on a website. Being clear about my material and having liking it enjoying it, knowing that it's going to be helpful, these kinds of positive feelings and familiarity with your material. Again, not memorizing anything word for word, but being comfortable and confident with your material and know that you're producing it in order to help somebody is also very helpful, especially for the introverted. I think for an extrovert, I think it's much more natural to be in front of people. Although again, the camera is an interesting dynamic, and I think it shakes people of all types. But those are a couple things that come to mind.
Yeah, practice, practice, practice. And know
And
your.
by the way, by practice, I don't mean act like you're going to do it. I mean, actually do it. Turn on your camera, record a video, send it to somebody, these kinds of things, like real practice, not pretend practice. Although if you win through visualization, I know a lot of people enjoy visualization exercises. I would call that pre-practice.
Pre-practice. Wonderful, wonderful. So as we are about to wrap up, our community, the Growth Hacking Secrets community, how they can support you?
Gosh, I think, I produce a podcast, which is at bombbomb.com/podcast. I co-authored a book with my longtime friend and team member, Steve Passanelli. That's at bombbomb.com/book. If you want to learn more about using video messages, that's what that book is all about. Otherwise, hit me up on LinkedIn. Again, it's Ethan Beute, ETHAN. ETHANBEUTE. I'm pretty sure I'm the only Ethan Beute on LinkedIn. And so that's a great way to connect as well. And I hope some of what I put out into the world is helpful for people.
Definitely, it is helpful. BombBomb.com. If you're just listening, not watching right now, BombBomb.com. BombBomb. They couldn't find it. 2 words, but they have to put it twice. The same thing. BombBomb.com.
Right.
Thank you so much. As we are about to wrap up, and I like to have your review and testimonial, your guest experience on the show. What would you say to your best friend about being a guest on a Growth Hacking Secret show when I'm not there?
The format is very, very straightforward. I think it's such a great, simple approach. Where is this person coming from? What are 3 things to avoid? What are 3 things to focus on? 3 keys to success. And I think there's so much value in this kind of repeatable format, and the sheer volume of guests that come through make it really interesting to watch. And so it's easy to execute. It's published to a variety of platforms, and I'd be happy to do it again anytime.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. What would you say as a final word?
Find your voice. I think the more confidence we can have in expressing our thoughts and ideas, knowing that we are imperfect, knowing that our ideas might have some flaws in them, this confidence is your key. It opens the door to everything. It opens the door to relationship. It opens the door to success. It opens the door to more curiosity, and it opens the door to more confident expression. And so it's something that I was challenged with for years and just kind of kept working through. And it's just so valuable for everybody, personally and professionally.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ethan Beute, Chief Evangelist at BombBomb.com. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of a Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.